Hello and welcome back everyone to a good 10 minutes. I'm your host Alex. I will provide some market and news headline updates all in under 10 minutes. Always apolitical, no spin, no bias, no BS. Let's get the party started on this Tuesday, March 19th. First and foremost, always starting off with market updates from yesterday. Markets were on fire yet again. A nice recovery from a very slow last week, or rather a down week. S&P 500 up 63 basis points, Nasdaq up 82 basis points, Dow was up 20 basis points. Bitcoin did retreat yesterday, down 2.65%, and Tesla up 6.25% yesterday. Tesla did get a boost after announcing higher prices for its Model Y in the US and parts of Europe, which is really great news because the Model Y was actually the highest selling car in the world last year, which is incredible. So basically, Tesla is signaling that its top line on the P&L is going to go up with additional revenue with this price boost, and obviously margin as well, which means higher share prices, more profit for investors. So Tesla, is expecting a slow year this year and has been down more or less in the first and second quarters so far this year in 2024. And I think this is a way for them to combat, their dropping stock price. So good job, Tesla, and their leadership team for figuring it out. Still wouldn't necessarily recommend investing in them, but they're probably a year or two away of being investable, in my opinion, again. All right, let's move on to some news updates. Apple may bring Google's Gemini to its products. Please recall Gemini is the embattled AI service that's provided by Google. It was just in the news for providing incorrect racial identities for all of its images that it was generating. So it was in the negative news, and now it looks like there's some positive that's coming out from Apple and Google combined. Yesterday, Bloomberg reported that Apple is in talks to license Google's Gemini AI for iPhones and other Apple devices with forthcoming iOS 18. This may have OpenAI CEO Sam Altman sweating, but for Apple and Google, it could be the answer to their generative AI troubles. Alphabet shares rose over 7% following the news, and Apple's rose more than 2%. It's not their first time teaming up, though. Google reportedly pays $18 billion to Apple every year to be the default search engine on its devices. A deal involving Gemini could help both companies overcome OpenAI's seemingly big head start in the AI race. What's in it for Apple, you may ask? Well, it could help shift investors' perception that the company is an AI laggard. Tim Cook said last month that the company is investing significantly in AI, but Apple's products are inferior to the leading models, according to Bloomberg. Apple could still use its own AI for on-device tasks and use Gemini for more complex features in the cloud, like text-to-image generation. So what about Google? Well, this deal could be for Gemini what the Ed Sullivan Show was for the Beatles. It would be the AI model's highest profile partnership and its best chance at getting ahead of the white-hot competition. If the deal happens, Gemini could be on a 2+ billion iPhones around the world. Huge. Another plus would be some reputation rehab. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Gemini briefly shut down last month due to controversy over the model generating historically inaccurate images. So what could get in the way? Of course, as regulators clamp down on big tech, there could be pushback to Google and Apple getting even cozier. Their search engine deal is already the subject of a DOJ lawsuit. But Apple has also considered using OpenAI's model, and any deal probably won't be announced until Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference in June. So very, very interesting, and can absolutely move both of these tech giants and NASDAQ and S&P 500 along with it. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Some additional news headline updates for you guys. NVIDIA is back in the news. It showed off its next-gen chip. Jensen Huang, the CEO of the AI explosion's big winner so far, NVIDIA, revealed its latest tech to keep the good times rolling, as its developer event yesterday dubbed, quote, the Woodstock of AI by analysts. Sounds like a nerdy gathering. Speaking in a packed arena, Huang showed off Blackwell, NVIDIA's new, more powerful graphics processor chip design. This chip, the company says, is significantly faster than the chips that support most of the AI out there now. The old design, which propelled Nvidia to its spot as the world's third most valuable company, was good. Jensen told the crowd, but we need bigger GPUs, and that will be it. Now, on to the Supreme Court news. Supreme Court probably won't limit government contact with social media companies. During oral arguments yesterday, the justices seemed skeptical of claims made by Republican led states that the federal government had acted improperly and sought to censor conservative viewpoints when trying to get social media companies to remove misinformation and harmful posts from their platforms. The case could see the Supreme Court draw a new line between what is considered acceptable persuasion versus unlawful coercion. It's one of several cases this term that asks the court to grapple with how free speech works on the internet. Trump back in the news. Unfortunately for him, Trump can't find an insurer to back 464 million appeal bond after his legal losses have been mounting up. Attorneys for Donald Trump told court yesterday that no one is willing to underwrite a bond to cover the 464 million verdict against him in New York's civil fraud suit. He's talked to 30 companies, but they want Trump to use cash rather than properties as collateral, the former president's lawyer said. They're asking the court to delay the judgment until the appeal is over or accept a smaller bond of 100 million. Otherwise, the New York Attorney General's office could try to collect by seizing assets. Just wanted to point out that 464 million bond would be the largest bond ever, and well, not the largest bond ever, but rather it would be the largest bond guaranteed by insurers. So, this would be very difficult for anyone to obtain such a tremendous, essentially a $500 million insurance bond. That would be an absolute record. So, on to some key performance indicators. Again, Elon Musk continues to dominate the news. He was in the news yesterday for saying, quote, "If you used too much ketamine, you can't really get work done, so I have a lot of work." Don Lemon released the uncomfortable interview with Elon Musk that caused the mercurial billionaire to cancel X's partnership with the show. And Musk's use of ketamine was just one of the touchy topics discussed. Musk insisted he only took the drug as prescribed to treat low moods, was nearly always sober when making late-night social media posts, almost always, and that, given Tesla's success, from an investor standpoint, if there is something I'm taking, I should be taking it. You can watch the whole thing online. The entire interview has been posted. Crazy times. Interesting stat for you. The ocean keeps smashing records like it's Caitlin Clark. Really, really crazy. For the past year, the ocean has broken a new temperature record every day, CNN reports, based on data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And also the University of Maine's Climate Reanalyzer. The unbroken string of daily heat records since last March likely stems from human-caused climate change, as well as natural heat waves and the El Nino phenomenon. Globally, average ocean temps went up 0.25 degrees Celsius in 2023, or about 20 years worth of typical warming. So there's definitely some issues here. And just the last 6, as always, finishing with a happy 6 news updates for you. Let's get going. First up, a report backed by the UN said famine is imminent in northern Gaza as the Israel-Hamas war continues. Up next, the EPA has banned the last form of asbestos that was legal in the US more than 30 years after a court overturned its first attempt to ban the cancer-causing substance. Next, Sports Illustrated's print edition was live on. A new deal will let Minute Media, which owns the Players Tribune and Fansided, publish the struggling magazine for at least 10 years. So, Sports Illustrated not going away. Next up, Volkswagen employees at a plant in Tennessee have filed a petition for a vote on joining the United Auto Workers Union. Good luck, VW. Next, the 81-year-old fabric store chain Joann has filed for bankruptcy as customers spend less on crafting. And last but certainly not least, Dan Schneider, who created Nickelodeon TV hits like iCarly, told Variety he never intentionally sexualized kids' shows, responding to allegations of misconduct in his new documentary. That's all I have for the day. Some quick news updates for you all. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Take care and see you tomorrow.